as a wrap-up of the introduction of using Confluent Kafka to produce and consume your own messages using the C# libraries, I created this really brief video just to demonstrate the end-to-end working of these console applications, just so you have a good idea on what everything looks like if you want to try this out yourself. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always find me via the website and email and things like that. So to demonstrate, what we'll probably do is to compile this producer application, because we can't debug two projects in the same solution at the same point in time. So what really would be useful is to just start it, and in this case what will happen is that the application will just run in the background, start to pull this file watcher directory for anything that may happen. So we can have a look, and while we do that we can log into the Confluent cloud, and we can see the Ruland cluster. We see topics, we have the topic created, right? So one of the things we saw is that everything would be up and running because the topics are recreated every time we start the producer. This is obviously not a production environment we can do this in. But what we have now is that in this example directory, we have our examples that I've created as part of the solution, and this examples publication directory is the one that's being watched by the file watcher. So if I start dragging this information in here, what will happen is that the polling mechanism will detect these files and start triggering these messages, which will then see appearing in the background in the Confluent platform. So this information will start coming in, and of course we can continue this for however many changes we want to record. And that's really good. So that part works. Now, what we can do is start a second application which does the consumer side of things, and it will run in debug mode, and it will look at what's happening there. So as part of those two files, 4 objects of the data object mapping are selected, and that's correct, because if we open up this one, we would see that there is a data object mapping list with 4 times a data object mapping in there. This is according to the interface specification, the schema. And if we look at this one, it's only 1. So that makes sense. Now, these events are being consumed by the consumer, and we can also start looking at the consumer group to see what's happening. So now the current offset is 5, which is also the end offset. So pretty much this consumer group, this consumer is up to date and there's no delay. But let's have a look now when we add some more files to the publication. So again, dragging another one, like a hub, for example. And now these events are being published, and you can see that in the consumer group, while these events are published to the topic, then there is a slight lag in the consumer receiving it, and now it's up to date again. This is a really simple example of how you can create your own Kafka set of interfaces, but the point here is that it's not so much the ability to move data from A to B, because there's many ways to do that, but what is really good is that you can work together with your development teams and to make sure that the right data is produced at the right point in time, which is aligned to your business process, is defined in a way that everybody can agree with, and pretty much consume this information directly into your data and reporting solution. So give it a go. If you run into any questions, let me know, and I will continue with some of the other topics. No pun intended.